Welcome to Talk Law Radio with attorney Todd Marquardt of the Marquardt Law Firm at marquardtlawfirm.com.
Welcome to Talk Law Radio. I'm Todd Marquardt, on the radio, on podcasts everywhere, on Facebook, and on YouTube. Also visit talklawradio.com to check out the archived episodes. Today we're going to be talking about guardianship and probate and something else. Trust administration, reconciliation of accounts and accounting with senior paralegal Cheryl Mays. But first, it's the Financial Focus with Steve Warren with Financial Planning HQ. He's financial CEO for successful people who would rather do fun things with their lives than manage their subject matter experts like CPAs, financial advisors, and insurance people. So, Steve, welcome to the show.
Glad to be here, Todd. Super fantastic on this beautiful day, and it looks like it warmed up a little bit out there.
It has since the last time we met.
Yeah, on Saturday.
Last week, you were talking about the Apollo 11 mission and all the planning that went into that historic and mission, and how everyone should have a plan that has clear objectives, is comprehensive, has well-defined strategies, and has an action plan with specific details of what needs to get done by when and who's responsible for getting it done, and a process for course corrections.
Sure.
All of this in a written document.
Absolutely. Yeah, we call it a comprehensive written lifetime financial strategy.
Can you give our audience an example of a well-defined strategy?
Yeah, I can. We were talking about an actual written document. And first, I'd like to share with you the results of a recent survey that was done with financially successful people. And in this survey, 63% of the people surveyed felt that their financial advisor was not actively providing them with a comprehensive written lifetime financial strategy. In other words, something that's actually written, a physical document that they could give to their CPA and say, here, take a look at this. What do you think about it? So a lot of people just don't have confidence that they have a written plan. And we have a client that's coming in actually on Friday, a new client, a fairly new client. In fact, your firm did the legal work, their living trust, a while back. It's been about a year now. And so she has been wanting to retire for, I guess, 4 or 5 years. And she's just so dedicated to her, to her employer. And now she's actually going to retire. And so she's made up her mind. She's looking to retire in April of this year. And so I thought I would talk a little bit about the strategies within their plan that we're updating. We did one last year, and we fine-tuned it throughout the year. And now we have updated information. Their expenses have changed. And their discretionary expenses are probably going to go up because they're going to be doing more vacations, things like that, doing things that are fun. So here's some examples to answer your question, Todd, of strategies illustrated. And the first thing that I mentioned here within their plan is that she stay the course and maintain retiring, because she has been talking about this for a while, and she just doesn't do it. So we gave a recitation within the strategies illustrated to maintain the retirement timeline. And some of the benefits of retirement, we actually wrote those out within the strategies illustrated. And those benefits are enhanced happiness, and there's reduced stress, the opportunity to do things that are altruistic, because she does have charitable inclinations, and those would be very healthy for her, rather than to go to work and be under such great stress. So you've got improved well-being, and then she can pursue her passions and interests. And some of the other strategies that I mentioned in taking a look at their cash flows, we actually recommended, and we give advice with conviction, Todd. So we actually recommended that they increased their discretionary spending by $15,000. So that's maybe an extra vacation or something like that, because their capital timeline can't support that. So whether or not they do that because they're very good with their money, I don't know, but it is a recommendation. It's a strategy that actually does not affect their capital timeline in an adverse way.
That's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. And within the Strategies Illustrated, we are at a point now where we're creating a very robust cash reserve plan for them. So we added some treasury bills that they add to what they currently have in cash reserves, which is money market and so on. And some treasury bills that are 13 weeks, they mature every 13 weeks. And so one of the Strategies Illustrated is to set up that account because that gets close to 4%. And it's really safe money rather than to put that in a checking or savings account. And also this client is going to be 65 pretty soon. So there's some big decisions that need to be made with regard to Medicare and applying for Medicare. So within the Strategies Illustrated, we gave her a roadmap of where she needs to go, what she needs to do, what she should think about as far as a Medicare supplement plan, and then the different parts, A, B, C, and D.
Right.
And so we will bring in a subject matter expert at our next meeting, which will be fairly soon, to talk to her about kind of navigate through that process of Medicare. It's not that hard to enroll, but when you're looking at a supplement, there's a lot of different options that people have to navigate through and, make a decision on. And we also recommended within the Strategies Illustrated that this particular client start her Social Security at normal retirement date, which is age 67, and I think it's age 67 and 7 months. So there's going to be a little bit of a gap in time. But when we test the numbers, that produces the best outcome for her to wait until her normal retirement date. And also, she has a couple of annuities that she bought a long time ago. And we're going to turn on an income from these annuities kind of to bridge the gap a little bit. We'll probably leave the income on permanently, but that'll allow her to, have a good income, no negative cash flows between now age 65 and age 67 and 7 months. So those are some examples of some Strategies Illustrated, just a couple of them. In here also, we did recommend that they freeze their credit. They have everything paid for, so we don't want anything bad to happen, like, somebody take out, a cell phone in their name or just something like that.
Right.
So we do advise our clients to freeze their credit, and it's easy to do that, and you can easily unfreeze it in case they decide to buy a rental property or, something like that happens.
Right. I can see how a comprehensive written lifetime financial strategy would be empowering and comforting all at the same time.
Yeah, absolutely. And to go along with those strategies, Todd, what's really important is the action plan, the tactics, because those are all strategies, but action has to take place in order to, make those things happen.
Right.
You got to start your Social Security. You got to go through some documents in order to start an income from the annuities. You have to make a decision as to whether or not you want to have withholding on that income and all of these things. There's a well-defined action plan, and basically it says, this is the action, who's responsible for completing it. Is it us? Is it the client? Is it all of us together? The target date. And once those actions are achieved, then we check them off at that point.
This is Talk Law Radio. I'm with Steve Warren, CEO of Financial Planning HQ, and we're talking about comprehensive written lifetime financial strategy. Steve, last week we talked about course correction, and so I want to give you a hypothetical. What if, God forbid, somebody with a plan like this has a sudden illness or an accident, and it seems like there might have to be a course correction? What are some things that you might suggest, or what would you look into?
Yeah, actually that happened to a client recently. His wife was in a car accident and she was severely injured, her back, and has been in just a lot of constant pain.
Mm-hmm.
And this particular client, back when this happened, owned a business. And so we've actually lived this out. And one of the things that we had to do is to, have a discussion about whether or not she would be cared for in the home or in a facility. And it was decided that in-home care would be the best. And actually our client, the spouse is actually her caregiver to a large degree.
Mm-hmm.
So she definitely wanted to stay home, and she needs a lot of care. So the very first thing we did is to have a bonus meeting outside of what we normally have to talk about the situation and what is the best course of action. Sometimes if a person needs to go into a facility, that kind of changes everything.
Right.
Yeah, in this case here, their expenses went up because they have a nurse that comes in for a certain amount of hours per day. And so in that situation, expenses went up by roughly $2,000 per month. So it first starts with a conversation. Decisions have to be made. Subject matter experts may need to come in to talk about some of these things that need to be considered.
Okay. Well, it sounds like that you're always there for them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Have that bonus meeting with them.
Yeah, absolutely. Our role is to have the clients back.
Awesome.
That's important.
Well, that's it for the Financial Focus. This is Steve Warren with Financial Planning HQ. Call what number?
210-685-2722. That's 210-685-2722.
This has been Talk Law Radio with attorney Todd Marquardt, brought to you by the Marquardt Law Firm. You can learn more at marquardtlawfirm.com. And be sure to listen to the full Talk Law Radio show Saturday mornings at 11 on 9:30 a.m. The Answer.
Most families don't realize they have hidden legal blind spots until it's too late. Wills, trusts, Medicaid planning, even protecting a business. These are the kinds of issues attorney Todd Marquardt helps uncover before they become problems. Todd is the host of Talk Law Radio, where each week he guides listeners through the legal challenges families, veterans, and business owners face, while showing them the practical steps to protect what matters most. Catch Talk Law Radio, Saturdays at 11 a.m. on 9:30 a.m. The Answer, 6:30 a.m. The Word, and now in Houston on AM 1070 and 103.3 FM The Answer, or anytime on YouTube. Planning isn't just about documents. It's about peace of mind, security for loved ones, and building a legacy that lasts. Don't wait for a crisis. Do it before you die.